Instagram teen accounts have automatic protections for what teens see and who can contact them, plus time management tools. And Instagram will continue adding built-in safety features to help create age-appropriate experiences. Learn more about teen accounts and Instagram's ongoing work to protect teens online at instagram.com/teenaccounts.
Whether it's a movie night or just midday, Skinny Pop is a salty snack that keeps on giving. Made with just 3 simple ingredients for an irresistibly delicious taste and a large serving size that lasts. Deliciously popped, perfectly salted. Skinny Pop, popular for a reason. Shop Skinny Pop now.
Come meet me at the Musial with Alan and Daniel. We'll talk about the Cardinals all night long. Everyone come gather round, listen to your favorite sound. We'll talk about the Cardinals all night long. We'll talk the games and all the rest, about the team that we love best. We'll talk about the Cardinals all night long. We're gonna talk about the Cardinals all night long.
Good evening and welcome into another edition of Meet Me at Musial. I'm your host, Daniel Shoptaw at C70. Still no Alan Medlock. He's out with the Tulsa Hell Drillers. It sounds like it has been a rough season for Coach Medlock. He's earning his money this time around, but I have 2 for the price of 1 this time. As you know, I joined Ben and Nate over at Talking About Birds on Wednesday, came out yesterday, and they're returning the favor. How y'all doing, guys?
Good. Yeah, thanks for having us. It's good to be back.
Daniel couldn't be doing better today. Could not be better.
I mean, it's always nice to have Ben actually show up. So
I'm here.
I mean, I do appreciate
I know.
that.
I don't know what to do. I'm so used to just coming by myself on this show and having a pleasant time. So I'm sorry that that this is happening.
Yeah, but what it is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll make the best out of it, just like the Cardinals
We have no other
made
choice.
the best out of yesterday. But before we get in too far into yesterday's game, I do want to point out that if you have not listened to Talking About Birds this week, I am sorry for you, but you're also going to be a little bit slightly confused. At the end of the show last time, we did the Cardinal Six. As most of y'all know, we do the Cardinal Six on Twitter every series. We pick, you've got questions, you give answers. We did a specifically designed one for yesterday's game. And so we're going to kind of use that as our backbone of this show, which is probably means this is not going to work, but I don't really do a lot of planning. And so when I start to think about that, all bets are off. But let's go with it. And the first question was, of course, who will win the game? So all of us got that question right. 1 point for everybody.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Homers.
Yeah. While I don't remember most of my answers, I remember a few of them. I will say that just this little game really colored my viewing experience of the game too, because as the Cardinals were being dinked and babipped to death there in that 6th inning, I was thinking, no, my card 6 bet, but I was like, well, at least if I'm going down, everyone else is going down. But I did think about it a little too much.
I have found it to be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
To things that you ask those questions, you do start thinking about them a little bit more. So Ben, let's start with you though. Let's do the Cardinals won the game. Let's give the 10,000, 15,000, however high up you are, view of this game. Just the highlights for you. What was it?
I mean, I guess the first highlight is just the fact that baseball is happening. The Clydesdales, Alec Burleson, all of those things coming back to my TV screen. I I think I spent probably conservatively like 8 hours watching baseball yesterday. So that's the real takeaway. From the game though, I mean, this team, it's really easy to say this when you have a huge comeback and you score a bunch of runs, but the team is young and exciting. Like JJ Wetherholt alone makes this team more interesting to watch. Not that I did enjoy watching Nolan Arenado play, even when he was diminished from his like MVP levels, but watching a team built with JJ Wetherholt and Ivan Herrera and even Victor Scott had some really nice moments. Like this is a young athletic team. Um, it was really fun it was a great game. I can't believe we got such a good game to start the season, and what we're all going to expect is going to be like a pretty hard to watch 70 win season that's ahead of us.
Yeah, getting one of those wins out of the way. At least if you're going to get
71 now, right? We got one in the bank.
Right.
That's
so
how
now
it
you
works.
You just keep adding 70.
Yeah, we had already banked 70 for sure. So every one we get now is adding to that total. That makes sense. That's how it works.
Yeah, somehow we're going to wind up with 170 wins out of all this, I think, at this rate. Nate, what about you? What is the one kind of highlight takeaway that you had?
Yeah, well, I one of my first thought at the end of the game was that might have been the single most exciting game we're going to get the entire year. and I don't even think that that's necessarily a bad thing. Like scoring 8 runs in a single inning to come back in the way that they did it, just a barrage of hits, something I don't think we really expected from this team. Really made me feel like we might not ever get another inning like this year. So I just really wanted to enjoy it while it was happening. And it was absolutely a blast. I mean, that game had absolutely everything. My takeaway is that my hope is that's actually not the last type of inning like that we see from the Cardinals. We're not expecting them to be a big power team. And the way for them to win is going to be these good at bats, like constant attention, good plate approach, and just putting the ball in play, and hopefully something good happens. So I don't know. It's like that's what this offense is going to have to do to win games, and it's really cool to see it in the first game. And I'll say if you go back to last year, for at least the first half, when we were all saying like the team is good, this is a good team, because we're all smart and know how things work. The narrative side of all of that was that this is a team that doesn't give up. They fight every game. They had a whole bunch of comeback wins early last year too, and it was really kind of defining the team. And despite all of the all the moves, pretty much every person who was considered a team leader on the team is gone. Despite all that, only one game, but you certainly can't say they didn't fight every single at bat. They didn't show up to win the whole game, after that game. So pretty exciting. I think we'll see how it goes, but again, couldn't have asked for a better game yesterday. Unless you're a fan of hoping that your bullpen is good, but that's it's only one game. We'll get over it.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that for sure. I think it was, again, you're right. And I think it's a very good point that you put out there, Nate, that we had some of this in the first part of last year. And it is hard to, you don't want to draw too many conclusions from an early game. It could be that, like you said, that's the best inning this team plays all year. But I think that this is a team that should make contact, right? And when they can make contact, sometimes things are going to go through. And I think that's that may be the biggest thing out of that inning that isn't really looked at, is the fact that Nolan Gorman had 2 strikes and a lefty on the mound and got a base hit.
Mm-hmm.
If he strikes out, that inning goes a totally different way. And I think last year he would have struck out. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about it. So I think there's some hope.
I think Nolan Gorman had, I'm making this number up, but it was something like a 28 WRC plus in September last year. Like he was he was not a major league hitter. And I think what you're saying is he clearly had a productive spring training, and he looks like a major league hitter right now. That was very, very encouraging.
Yeah, Jordan
Yeah,
Walker
and I
too
mean,
had a couple
mhm.
takes that I would not have expected him to take, and he had a very hard hit double and another hard hit ball too. So, um, yeah, I mean, again, one game, but a lot of signs that we're hoping to see were seen in that game.
I mean, anytime you can see Jordan Walker put the ball in the air, I
Yeah,
think we're excited. It doesn't even matter if it's, I mean, heck, even if a pop up, I think we might get excited at some points in time. But to have him hit 2 balls very hard, I do feel like maybe he got a little bit of a break. The center fielder may have misplayed his
yeah.
double a little bit, but he hit it hard, and then the one after it was hard as well. So hopefully, and it's interesting that they're talking about on the broadcast this idea that they pretty much told him stop thinking,
Yeah.
which is how we do our podcasts. So
Yeah.
I understand
Uh,
that could be very effective.
I don't think that there's better life advice. I think a lot of people are, they're on their
Mhm.
phones, they're doing their
Oh,
tweets.
don't
Like,
even get me started, Hambo. And that's why before every episode, Ben and I take out these big cartoon rubber mallets and we bonk ourselves on the head a couple times before every single episode. It really helps.
it's smart.
I think I think it shows in the work,
Uh-huh.
honestly.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
yeah, I think. All right. Well, let's move on to question number 2. Will JJ Wetherholt have an extra base hit?
Wow.
Ben was right on this one. Nate and I were not as confident in Mr.
We
Wetherholt.
both. I said no. I knew I said
Yes,
I
you
have a
said
different
no.
JJ
Man,
Wetherholt one.
I've
but,
never felt better about myself and knowing that I'm better than you two than when Jake.
Damn.
I didn't even enjoy the home run. Just him hitting that brought me pure joy.
Damn.
I was very surprised I did not have some sort of message in my inbox immediately after.
I know it makes me
Classic.
extra sad that it made Ben so happy too, because I was happy that JJ Wetherholt hit a home run, but Ben was extra happy, and that makes me sad. So
Spark joy.
I hate this game.
It's usually what you say when I bring the games. Yes. So JJ Wetherholt. I mean, again, it's storybook, right? I mean, we talk a lot about how this guy is, he's ready for the majors, and he has, he's got the calm, he's leading off, he's able to handle all this. But if he went over 4 yesterday, nobody would have batted an eye, right? Instead, he hits a home run in his second at bat, and he hits a sacrifice fly that a lot of people gave a lot of people some hope that might have been more than that for a while.
Yeah, man. I was one of
made a
those
good play in the
people.
field.
No way,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh wait,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. The half a second of hope.
Yeah. So Nate, I mean, how impressive was that for a guy that I know we have a whole lot of expectations for, but it doesn't seem like it phases him.
He
Well,
also looked great on defense. I thought him ranging to his
Yeah.
left and right was just very, very smooth.
Mhm.
And I'll even go down to the post game interview that he did with Jimmy the Cat. He was a total pro. Like this, it seems like this kid has been in the big leagues for a couple of years. It is, it's scary how just
Yeah.
assimilated he is immediately to the big leagues.
Well, and talk about that type of home run too. I mean, this was a jack
0-2.
deepest part of the ballpark, straight dead center. The broadcast is like, oh, it's 0-2. Look, like he's such a good plate approach. Look how he shortens his swing. It's like, a swing, crushes it, dead center, absolute bomb. I mean, the question has not been, will JJ Wetherholt hit? I think there's pretty high confidence that, of all things, like the hit tool and his plate approach will transition and likely quickly. The question has been, will there be power? And I don't know. It's only one game. It's one home run, but a dead center home run in Busch, pretty good sign that he's got some game power
In
right
March.
now. Yeah, although to be fair to that, Hambone, you might not have known this, but it was like 92 degrees in St.
God.
Louis yesterday.
Okay.
So
Never
it
mind.
was
I retract that.
it was
Yeah.
hot. It
Yeah.
was a hot day. But still, right, like just absolute jack. So very exciting.
Yeah, and I mean he's on pace for 162 home runs, so I think that the
math-
power's there. Right?
I mean, it's there's you've never said anything more accurate. The
That's how
math
you
is
get to
there.
170 wins.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. I mean,
Lock it in.
uh,
I
I
mean,
just,
we're all giant sports bettors here, so let's go and make sure we place all of our bets. Who's your favorite betting app? Can I bet 170 wins for the Cardinals?
yeah. In fact, let me take your money and I will put
Can
it
I bet with
on
you?
that for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
betting everywhere I can now. We're all of our favorite betting is betting everywhere. So if I can bet with you, I'll
I,
throw some bets.
hey,
Bet.
sure. Let's do that.
Bet.
Uh,
And I hope your
again, I had a
listeners are
thought.
betting too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm big on the betting
You
travel
got to.
for sure. So, um, yeah, I had a thought. I had a thought. It's gone completely. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It wasn't that good anyway. Ben, do you have more to tell you about JJ Wetherholt? Besides just kind of rubbing it in that he got home run.
No, I mean, I think like the fact that it was 0-2, I think is what shocked me the most. Like a player in his first big league game, his second at professional at bat, 0-2 against a good pitcher, throwing good stuff. And I think he said in the post game interview, like, I overswung on the first two strikes. I took a step back. I stayed within myself. And, even the swing, he looked a little off balance. Like, obviously he was fine. It went out of the ballpark, but it's 10, 15 feet up on the berm in the batter's eye. That is just a lot of major leaguers who've been here for a decade aren't doing that on an 0-2 account, in the first game. And just the situation and everything is just incredible. I think he's going to be pretty good, guys.
Do you guys see
Yeah.
the thing about the ball? Like so
Round, white, red laces.
dude,
What else you got?
that's my co-host right there. Ooh, so I don't know more details about this, but like I don't know if you guys saw a guy like naturally ran out under the batter's eye, grabbed the
Mhm.
ball, and then apparently was seen like booking it from the stadium.
Oh, you
Uh,
got to sell that ball, baby. You
well,
got.
but somehow the Cardinals got it back because they did a little thing in the post game where Newt gave it to JJ.
So Newt beat
So
that guy.
I don't know if they chased him down or
Hey,
what, but they got it back. So big props to the guy running onto the batter's eye and trying to get out of the stadium. I love that. May we all at one point in our lives be running from Busch Stadium security. But I also am glad that JJ Wetherholt got the ball back.
Sure, yeah.
let, let me tell you, you don't become a Major League Baseball owner without knowing some people that could do some things that are a little bit off the books. And so I'm sure when
DeWitt's-
DeWitt saw that, he said,
Yep.
I'm going to get that back.
Get in the paratroopers.
Call my guy.
Do you know how many bodies are in the Mississippi River that are it's purely the DeWitt's responsibility. They are burying people out there.
You don't cross them. Don't cross them.
I mean, you think you're getting a beef and cheddar there in the Cincinnati area, but
It's a Sweeney Todd situation.
yeah, it might be the other white meat.
But do you still go there instead of Skyline Chili?
I mean, I support the Cardinals in every single way I can, so I only eat at Cincinnati area Arby's. Just so I have it shipped in.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Number 3. Will any Cardinal have 2 or more hits? Both of you got that one right.
Oh, yeah.
I again did not.
Wow.
It was
hate this
anybody because
Yeah.
I know I said anybody, and then also said it'll be Mason Wynn. I think Ben, you called Burley getting a couple hits too, right?
I sure did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I forgot to write down who, but I did remember y'all, and I thought it was the Burleson. Burleson gets 3 hits. Nathan Church gets 3 hits.
Yeah.
And again,
Victor
much
Scott.
more offensive than we thought. And Victor Scott, yeah. Victor Scott was, I mean, incredible, honestly, really. I mean, they had no chance against Victor Scott. And to the fact that I have never seen the third throw over, the disengagement violation or whatever they were calling it.
That
I don't
was
think I've ever seen
exciting.
that.
That was awesome. I watch
Yeah.
a ton of baseball. I've never seen that before.
It has to have happened before, but it's like the easiest thing of all baseball rules to not do, So
Mhm.
I'm sure it has happened before, but I've never seen it, and I've heard a lot of people saying this is the first time that I've seen it. And I'm assuming it's a blend of you're actually worried about Victor Scott, but also it's opening day and you just have completely forgotten about this rule from the other day. But it worked out.
But I think it's also the fact that if you have a 30% chance of getting him on that third one, that's maybe better than the chances of him stealing the base.
Him just
So,
taking
he's
it,
going to
yeah.
be at second anyway.
He's gonna steal it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know the at that time the catcher had been replaced after a very unfortunate incident earlier on.
God, yes,
That
that was
not gonna.
yeah. We don't need to talk about it, but that was
Yeah,
horrifying.
We'll move on from that. But I know the original catcher. I mean, he just didn't have anything on the throws down there. So, I
Man,
was
even if you
half expecting.
do, I think Juan Soto proved to us last year that stealing bases with the shorter bases, the shorter base paths and all that is now more than it's ever been about jump and
Mhm.
and timing and all of that. And so then you add in Victor Scott's incredible speed. Like if he can get on base, and I know this has been the book on him already, but yesterday really highlighted it. If he can get on base at any reasonable clip, and assuming he has a total green light, 50 plus, 60 plus stolen bases, the limit is just how much he gets to first.
Yeah, I mean he's on pace for 324. So I mean 70's kind of downgrade, don't you think?
Perfect math. I'm
Yeah.
placing my bets.
I agree. It's all about getting him on there, but I mean, and Ben, I know we're often as smart and intelligent baseball fans now, very derisive about bunting,
Hmm.
but he put down a beauty in that sixth inning that I don't know
Well,
that they could have ever gotten him.
and I do think it's important that there often bunting to sacrifice yourself to move a runner is a bad move. Bunting for a base hit, especially when you're Victor Scott, I could not be more on board with that. I think Victor Scott should do that as often as it makes sense, and I think he'll probably be pretty successful at it until they start playing really close on down the third base line. But I think it's a different conversation when you were talking about Victor Scott, a guy that has the profile like Victor Scott and bunting for a base hit. I am fully couldn't be more on board. Do it as often as you can.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it was JJ Weather. Oh, go ahead, Nate.
Well, just it'd be really interesting to see how people adjust if he just went up there bunting, trying to bunt for a hit in every at bat. Because I think he has one of the highest chances of success of anybody. He's going to beat a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was, like I said, I think it was JJ Wetherholt afterwards was talking about that bunt, and he said basically the only way they could have gotten Victor on a bunt like that was if they were so close that they would have been scared he would have turned around and actually tried to hit the ball,
Right.
And I mean, if they're going to play that close, he very well could, back up and take a full swing and maybe hit somebody with the bat and not the ball, but who knows? But I think that's the other thing that he's going to have to do just enough to keep them honest, right? Is to give them that idea that he could still pull it back and slap it somewhere else. But it's incredible, and it's a lot of. I think that adds so much to this team if he can get on base.
And the fact that he is, it seems like in the way the club is talking, is embracing this part of his game rather than, there was all the conversation about him lifting the ball too much. And, if he's just fully embracing that he has like extra special speed, get the ball on the ground and beat everybody with that tool, like I think that's going to make for something that's just fun to watch, like from a viewer standpoint. And I also think it's going to be pretty successful with his speed.
Yeah, I mean, we'd all love for him to be like a five tool player that's hitting the ball hard and playing incredible defense and all of that. But the reality is that we really only need him to be like, an 85 WRC plus kind of guy to provide extreme value. To that point, in yesterday's game, that one game, he accrued 0.2 Fangraphs WAR. which,
I
you
I
know,
was looking at this as well. Alec Burleson is the as of this recording, the Fangraphs War leader in
yeah,
MLB right now, up with .3.
that's so
And
funny.
y'all laughed at my fantasy baseball strategy, but I'm just
Y-
saying.
you know, you of all the years, some of your picks actually lined up okay this year. So
Uh, I mean, yeah. Who else would take JJ Wetherholt first? I don't.
day one, it's paid off great.
That's right.
Victor Scott
That
currently
we're only
rocking
playing
a
one. We're only playing one day, right? In this
yeah.
redraft after this. And,
Yeah, it is. It was a weird league, and we put a lot of effort into it. But it
yeah.
was a single day fantasy baseball league with a 2-week long slow
Right.
draft. Okay, over under end of season. Victor Scott's WRC plus. Will you be over or under this? 307.
Man, boy, I don't know. I'm gonna go under, but
Yeah.
not by a lot.
Yeah, not by
You
a
know?
lot. For context, he put up a 76 last year. So about 24% below league average. And he was still worth almost 2 WAR just on the back of his defense. So we don't even need like a crazy improvement at the plate from him to be really, really valuable. And then of course you watch yesterday's game and you start to get really excited about like, well, what if he actually hit like 275 and some of those were in the gap and things like that. But right now I'm just like, just put the ball in play and we'll have fun with it. And he's one of the many guys that you have to say over and over, he's still super young.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting. As the lineup flips over, we saw that a little bit. It meant JJ Wetherholt had to be a little bit more patient with what he got, but it also can mean that JJ Wetherholt's going to get a better pitch to hit too. That was always the idea of the old Cardinals, right? To put the speedster on, and then that gives you your next guy a better hit, a better pitch, maybe because they're worried about the guy stealing second. So
Yeah, pitcher
I think
hitting
that's going to be
eighth,
very
right?
interesting.
The
Yeah.
La Russa
I mean,
thing.
Yeah, there was, and it made sense. I mean, you're not gonna argue baseball with Tony La Russa, whether you want to or not. I don't think you're gonna be very successful.
He'll give you the
But
chicken pox or shingles or whatever.
Shingles, yes. But yeah, I think there's a lot of fun to be had with that. And before we shift off this, because I don't think I have another question that would really apply this. Ben, your thoughts on Mason Wynn hitting cleanup?
I guess I'm happy that Ivan Herrera is hitting second. And I do think that is like as far as starting every game, guaranteeing that Wetherholt, Herrera, Burley are getting an at bat in the first inning. I really like that. I think that's probably the best way to set up your lineup. As far as Mason Wynn being your fourth hitter, like I guess it's fine. Like he is a guy that's he doesn't strike out a lot. He makes a lot of contact. And if you have a guy on second or third, a base hit scores a run, is it the most optimal way to build a lineup? Probably not, but I don't absolutely hate it. And anything that gives Ivan Herrera more at bats, I'm on board with. So it's weird. It doesn't look right. But I think it's probably a good idea for now until maybe Gorman or Walker or whoever decides to become a legitimate power threat and gets moved up. I'm fine with it.
What about you, Nate?
Yeah, I mean, essentially the same thing. Like right now, he's one of your. Last year was a little rough, especially in the second half when he was, battling an injury for most of that time. But of the people that you would expect to be in that spot, him or Gorman and Walker, right now you certainly trust Mason Wynn to take a more competitive at bat. So why not? But I assume long term that's not the plan. I think ideally and hopefully soon it's Gorman or Walker or something like that. But I don't dislike Mason Wynn getting more plate appearances. But to Ben's point, I don't want him above those other three guys. So it just sort of makes sense right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how much Ollie shifts lineups and matchups and various other things. So
Right.
I
Like,
don't know how often we'll see that.
is Wetherholt going to be leading off games against tough lefties? Maybe. I don't know. That I feel like
Yeah.
that's a big question mark, but it would make sense to me if you want to put Win to lead off in that situation, or leave it the same. I don't know what they'll do, but it seems, I assume they'll be flexible with that.
I think it's also, I mean, you mentioning that just kind of makes me think, how often are they going to rest JJ Wetherholt, right? I mean, he's gone through a college season. I guess he went through a whole minor league season last year, so he probably doesn't need a whole lot of it. But I figure, Nate, they're going to probably have to pick and choose their spots to make sure that, he's still got something in the tank in August and September.
Yeah, I would think so. He strikes you as the type of guy that's going to play 162 in his first
Mhm.
season. But I think the team will probably not want that. And we also know, barring a crazy, incredible run from this unexpected team, really the goal of this season is to get answers to a lot of different guys and give as much exposure as possible. So I think we're going to see lineups flipped around quite regularly to get a final answer on what do we do with Jose Fermin. Is Thomas Sajasi the utility guy of the future? These sort of fringe players that have been around for a while that certainly have some upside, but also might not be parts of the future. We need to get answers on those. And most of them can play second base. So I think it can kind of work out in everyone's favor that they'll give JJ ample time to make sure he's healthy and happy, while also giving the at bats to those other guys that we need to figure out.
Yeah. All right. Question 4 was about our new technology. How many ABS challenges was both teams combined for? This
I
had
have
to be
no idea.
exact.
Yeah.
I think we were all
Had to
wrong,
be
right?
exact. Ben had 4, Nate had 6, I had 7. There were 3.
Yeah,
Oh.
I knew.
And
Yeah, there was a
go
couple
ahead.
right at the end. I'm like, come on, kid, everyone,
Right.
start challenging. But a well
Well, and
called
I
game.
feel, and it was, it is interesting to know how much of that was, being so much in the moment of opening day, how much of it was good, well called. I know at least one of those was in the 9th. Pedro Bajes challenged it.
It was
I don't
kind of
think he
just
even thought it
a
was.
prayer,
Yeah,
challenge. Yeah.
yeah. Which ironically, last I knew, Bajes was like 8 for 8 in the spring, and then
Yeah.
he misses his first one.
Well,
But go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I was watching the Seattle Cleveland game last night, and Big Dumper was up in a huge situation. There was a borderline pitch, and he didn't call. He didn't ask. It was a ball. They called it a strike, and
Mhm.
he did not tap his head. And it made me wonder, like, is the reflex not there? Like, in these
Mhm.
situations when all these other things are going on and it's late game and you're, all the world's looking at you, like, are players just not thinking about oh, I probably should tap my, like, this is a high leverage situation. I should tap my head right now and just double check on this. Or,
Mhm.
I guess, is it just too new? Are they, I don't know what's going on, but I'm surprised at how little I've seen it used in, um, 2 days of baseball so far. I guess
Yeah.
that's not a large sample size either.
I mean, you've watched a lot of games, so I mean, it's larger than some. Yeah, I mean, were you surprised, Nate, that we didn't see as many, at least opportunities for this challenge and turnovers?
Well, we went to Hambone and I went to 4 spring training games where it was
Mhm.
active, and upon reflection, it didn't happen very much at those games either. Because if you think about it, like, most of these umpires, if you follow those ump scorecards that come out after games, like, most of the time
Mhm.
they're actually 98, 99% accurate. And then so that they're only inaccurate a handful of times a game. And then you have to have the player recognize that they were inaccurate and want to take the risk. So I guess it actually makes sense that it's not happening a ton. I expect there will be games where the ump's having a bad day, you know, like that one we saw in spring where the guy got it wrong like 6 times in a row or whatever. We might not see much like that, but I think there will certainly be those days where they're just not seeing the ball well or whatever. There's a whole bunch of ABS challenges, but otherwise, I guess not upon reflection, I'm not surprised we're not seeing a ton of it. And I think there is some, to Ben's point, of just like the habit's not there. And also, like, yeah, I can't imagine seeing the ball that the way they see it, but you just might not be that confident, you know? Um, it has made me think though, uh, with the way in which sports technology evolves and the fact that most people who are professional baseball players have been playing since they're like 5. You know, the strike zone has never been like, I as a hitter do not have a truly defined strike zone. My strike zone is defined every single game by the umpire behind me. But if you spend 15 years playing a game where you actually have a really defined strike zone that you've been seeing and testing for like a decade, like, you know, 15 years from now, these guys coming up into this thing are going to have such a different control of their strike zone than we've ever been used to. I don't know what that does, you know, if that really changes anything, but it's just interesting to me. It'll be interesting to see if there's any sort of evolution of how players approach an at bat or something, because they truly know exactly their strike zone.
Yeah. New Cardinals TV personality Danny Wexelman posted this earlier today. This is through the first 12 MLB games. Catchers are 10 for 14 in their challenges with
Nice.
ABS. Batters are 9 for 16, and pitchers are 0 for 1. But that does average out to closer to 3 per game, which
Yeah.
is about, you know, what we've seen so
Yeah.
far. So I think that is interesting. One, that you know, they're not challenging unless they're really fairly confident that it's a bad call. But two, it does feel like that is something that, you know, people are getting adjusted, or, you know, teams kind of had a little bit more leeway in the spring of, well, this game doesn't matter. But now that the games have started, they may be like, okay, you, and you, if you think it's a good challenge, go for it. Otherwise, it
Yeah.
better be really, really
Right.
good.
I've kind of assumed it's similar to like stealing bases. That's like some guys have just a total green light because everyone has trusted them. They've proven they have a good eye on it. And then there are going to be other guys that it's like situational. Like, you're not allowed to challenge in the first 3 innings unless there's a runner in scoring position and there's 2 out or something like
Well,
that. Like, that's
right.
how I would be doing it, at least.
I think teams have a really good understanding of like what are the situations that are the most impactful to win that game. I believe it was the Brewers have developed a system where they will actually give the third or first base coach a sign letting the batter know if they are allowed to challenge in that. It's basically green light, red light for if they have a close call, if they can
Yeah.
challenge it, and that's based on the game situation and the win probability added.
Well, there
all
you go.
that. Yeah.
That was interesting to see how you're going that, because we had I think we talked about it in your show, the MLB fan council meeting about ABS, and they were very adamant about how there is no help allowed from anybody to make the call. Now, in that situation, you would be able to, hey, before the bat, hey, this is a red light situation, sure, or whatever. But there is, I mean, you know, they've got to, a player or a pitcher or a catcher has to decide immediately. I think we saw one in the last spring training game where, not for the Cardinals, but a guy, you know, kind of flipped his bat and then wanted it, and it was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
It has to be immediate, and you can't have anybody signaling you or anything of that nature. You've got to do it on your own.
I'm telling you, I'm waiting for the Houston Astros trash can. It's going to be like someone's going to bang something real loud, you know? But I also read it's before they have to do it before making any other movement, you know,
Right.
which is
Right.
kind of hard to define, but they're really hammering home the point that it has to be basically immediate or you don't get it.
I can't wait. I think at some point somebody is going to accidentally it's going to be a reaction or a tick or something like that, and they're going to tap their helmet, and they will call the ABS end play, and it'll be like right down the middle, and the player will be screaming at the umpire, "I didn't tap my,"
It's so funny.
That's going to
It's so
happen.
funny you say that, Ben, because I was watching the Athletics game earlier tonight, and Lawrence Butler was up to bat, and it was a ball that was a little bit, it was a good call, but like you could see maybe someone would want to challenge it. And he went up and adjusted his helmet.
Right.
And I thought he was calling for an ABS, but it was like, that he didn't do the double tap, but he did put his hand on the top of his helmet and sort of shake it, which made me think maybe he was gonna
And then
do it and decided not to, or it was just like, these guys all have their little ticks all the time. So I don't know. And I don't know if anyone else, if someone might ask him, it didn't
It's
seem like
gonna
a
happen,
super
though.
obvious thing, but
Yeah.
I thought that's exactly what I thought was happening, is that either he meant to do it and he backed out last second, or he it was just a tick that looked a lot like an ABS challenge.
Yeah, it will be interesting. And I wonder if it is this guy has this routine, right? This
Yeah.
is what he does after a pitch or something.
I mean,
The umpires are a
Fortunately,
little bit more lenient,
I don't know if anyone has a silly little double tap. I mean, it's a pretty distinct
Yeah, it
action.
is.
I have thought about what do they workshop? What other, how do they land on double tap at the top of the helmet? Was there swirl your hands around, turn around and scream at the umpire? I'm sure they tried a bunch of different things before landing on the little double tap.
Yeah, the clock the umpire was not successful in
That one
minor league
didn't.
challenge.
Yeah.
Didn't go.
Take a big bat bite out of the side of the bat.
Right. Those kind of things. I mean, I think Wilson Contreras was trying it with the tape last year, but
God,
it just didn't take off as they thought they would.
Eat
So,
a roll of medical tape every time you want to stay in the challenge.
You got to figure the umpires are coming up with these elaborate things because they never want to be challenged.
Yeah.
So, hop on one foot while reciting the alphabet.
Uh-huh.
That kind of thing. So
you get an extra challenge for every backflip you do.
Bring Ozzy back.
Yeah.
All right.
When we were at at Jupiter for the game in spring, we were sitting behind a bunch of retirees, which is apparently 90% of spring training attendees.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys, we were clearly all Cardinal fans, and they were just traveling and seeing different spring training facilities. And one of the guys was like, Ozzy, I saw him do a backflip at Shea Stadium. I'm like, hell yeah, brother.
I mean, you're gonna remember it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So, goodness. All right. Question number 5. How many strikeouts would the Cardinals bullpen have within one? That within one is kind of important because Ben and I picked 5 and Nate picked 4.
Yes.
Which means Nate gets 5 points. This is going to be a problem. But the whole what's fascinating is
feels good. Was it 3? Did they get 3 total?
It was 3.
Yeah.
They got 3. Matthew Liberatore got 2. There was a 5 strikeouts is all in the game. And we've talked so much about this idea of trying to improve, trying to get the swing and miss, trying to do all this. Ben, at least in the first game, it wasn't there.
No, and I mean, hopefully, yes, it wasn't there. I will say, and maybe I'm trying to avoid the question by moving it to this direction. I thought it was very interesting how Ali Marmol decided to use the bullpen, like the way in which he deployed Swanson, O'Brien, and Stanek specifically, who I think are some of the more higher, and Romero, sorry. But I thought it was interesting the way that he deployed them. It kind of didn't seem like anybody was, it was just leverage situations. Obviously, I think Swanson, this might be his worst outing of the year. I think that I'm not worried about him. He went out, he got 1 out, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs. It wasn't
at least
great.
One of those hits was nothing.
Yeah. I think I'm not worried about him at all. I do worry about Roycroft. I know that the club likes him, and he's big and tall, and he throws hard, and the angle looks nice, and the pitches move. I've just never really seen him. I guess he just hasn't convinced me. But I do think that this is I feel pretty good about the starting rotation, especially the fact that we can bring up Dick Fitz at some point, and maybe Quinn Matthews or some other guys down there. The bullpen's the biggest question mark. We talked about it on our show earlier this week. Like, not only is it there, it's kind of a motley crew. It's like a lot of guys that don't have any optionality. So they're kind of there until they're not. And, it's the weak part of the club right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think, but the Cardinals also are in a position where, like, if they were trying to win this year, I don't think this bullpen looks exactly like this, right?
No.
But they're throwing darts at all these guys without options, and unfortunately, it wasn't really those guys that failed. Although Brule didn't look particularly strong either. But I agree with you, though. I'm not worried about any of them, but I wonder if Roycroft would be on the roster if they were trying to build a win now team,
Right.
I mean, we don't know. I mean, again, he kind of I know I can, that, especially that last hit that he gave up that went like, 3 feet. It looked like Victor Scott's bunt,
Right.
There was a little bit, I mean, that inning was a lot of that, right? It was a lot of paper cuts.
It was like
anything
one
except
hard
maybe,
hit ball,
I
and
think
like
two of
two or
those
three of the
hits.
hits didn't. Are we saying the same thing? Didn't leave the infield.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the exit velocity was like 58 miles per hour or less. Like they were nothing.
Yeah, the one that Brule gave up through the shortstop area was pretty hard. And I think one of Swanson's was a little bit hard. But yeah, I mean, it was just like if one of those balls gets caught or they get moved, that whole inning is different as well. But so it is hard to know. I mean, it wasn't like, somebody went out there and just, gave up 3 home runs and just got shelled. It was, so it's still hard to know. But the fact that these guys weren't striking anybody out led to that. And I don't know. I think we're not going to draw a whole lot of conclusions, even though we've been drawing a lot of conclusions. But I don't know. I'm not as concerned about the bullpen yet. Because I'm more concerned about the starting rotation.
Well,
but
also, to be fair to the competition, the Rays are a team that put the ball in play. Yandy Diaz almost never strikes out. Jonathan Aranda, who I think is going to have a very big year, also has really good batted ball skills. Junior Caminero, one of the best hitters in the game. Like it's a lineup that survives by putting the ball in play. So it was a pretty rough combo of them doing that and every ball going in exactly the wrong spot.
And how good Riley O'Brien covered 4 outs over 2 innings. How good did he look? Like that stuff looked electric.
It did. And it was really, I wonder, the Ryan Stanek coming in the 9th was really interesting to me because it, like, the way it played out, it almost looked like maybe that was the plan. But I wonder if that was the plan, or rather, like, O'Brien should have come in the 9th, but they needed him then because of how the game had changed, and they brought in Stanek. Or is he now like the de facto head of the committee because they want him to get as many saves as possible? So he's, more of a trade item at the deadline. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
I will say Ryan Stanek he didn't seem to know where the ball was going, but it was coming out live. Like the stuff was there. I don't know what to do with that, but it looked
he looked both good
expected
and
it to be.
horrible at the same time. It was like he walked 3 guys, which, in a single inning, not great. But he also made some people look like total fools up there. So you can see, I mean, this guy is a guy who was a closer before, has been in the big leagues for a while. So at times has been one of the better relievers in baseball. You could see it. I think you could also see why the Cardinals got him for nothing. And he's like a flyer that we're hoping does well.
I imagine, at least to start with, that he's the idea of the 9th inning guy, which, I mean, not always is the 9th inning is the big leverage, right? And it gives you a chance to use Swanson and O'Brien in spots where it really matters. But I also feel like there probably is some hesitation to anointing a young guy hey, you're going to be our ninth inning guy. I don't know that there's just a whole lot of roles.
Well,
on
O'Brien's
this
not that
team.
young, but I do know what you
True.
mean. Like none of them are
He's
have
Experienced.
really have really like established yet. And you don't really need like there's plenty of teams that get by without it. But I think
Mhm.
most of the time the teams that get by without having like a de facto closer is just simply because they don't have someone. Like I think most teams,
Right.
if they could, like the ideal is to have like a clear ninth inning shutdown guy. But we clearly
Yeah.
don't have that just yet. I still think long term it's O'Brien, and I wonder if they actually wanted Swanson to go 2 innings there, but it all fell apart, and that pushed the whole line up. But I don't know.
It's possible. I was surprised at how early they went to
Yeah,
Swanson. I mean, was an early, it was a tight game, but I didn't expect to see him in the sixth. I was surprised at their usage of him last year, but I felt like by the end of the year they had kind of gotten to where he was a guy they could rely on,
yeah,
and to see him in the sixth instead of the seventh or eighth was a little bit surprising. But
yeah.
again, like you said, if they were expecting to get in, a whole inning or more out of him, then that did change things a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I suspect that they clearly would have wanted at least one. I'm wondering if two or maybe two out of one of like O'Brien or JoJo or something like that, and then getting to O'Brien in the ninth, and they had to push everything up so Stanek became the
well,
ninth inning guy. But
right.
this
Even
doesn't
if
really matter that much.
Swanson even just gets a nice inning, then you probably just get to go Romero, O'Brien, Stanek. Maybe that's your game plan.
Yeah.
He gets blown up. Brule gets thrown in when he's not supposed to. Roycroft gets thrown in when he's not supposed to. They both give up runs. But yeah, it doesn't matter because the Cardinals came back and everything's fine.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if they don't dig the hole, then how are we going to have that exciting
Exactly.
feeling?
That
Right,
man,
yeah.
that inning though, it's just so funny. Like we love baseball so much, and then you're sitting there watching, like, what the wow, I've been looking forward to this, as somebody scores on a 3-foot squib. You're like, this is what I've been waiting for. And then the bottom of the sixth, you're like, oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
what I've been waiting
This
for.
is fun. Yeah.
Right.
I looked it up because I was curious. That Ben Williamson squibby single was 51 miles per hour off the bat with a negative 62 launch angle. So not an ideal.
Almost straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not an RBI ball very often.
No.
So no. All right. Our final question before the tiebreaker. Which Cardinal batter will draw the first walk of the season? Gorman, Wetherholt, and Wetherholt were the choices, none of which did that. Honestly, it wasn't until the ninth inning when they intentionally walked Alec Burleson that was going to be we were still waiting. That question might not have actually been answered
Man,
in this game.
I made such a big deal in the episode that JJ Wetherholt was going to lead off the game with a walk, and he got
and
to
a homer,
three.
I thought. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He got to 3 balls in the
Yeah.
leadoff at bat. I'm like, yes, he's gonna do it. And then we proceeded to watch 9 innings of baseball where the Cardinals draw 0 walks. I could not believe it was ultimately was it 0 walks and 3 total strikeouts from the Cardinals in this game? Not at all what I was expecting from this lineup in this game. And the Rays, I mean, this is the number one. This is day one. Rasmussen is good. Their bullpen is supposed to be great. So I was expecting some strikeouts and at least a few walks. And basically the Cardinals went up there swinging and were successful.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, Ben, I think all of us, if you had said, hey, they're going to score 8 runs in an inning, there would have been 2 or 3 walks in there, right? That we would have just assumed that was the only way that this offense was going to generate that kind of sustainability. And yet, yeah, until they got scared of Burley, it wasn't going to happen.
The pillar of this offense, Alec Burleson.
Well, yeah.
I do think Burley had a good year last year. He is still very young. Like all of the under the hood metrics, the launch angle that he swings at, his swing speed, the sweet spot contact, like all of the things he does against right-handed hitters is very, very good. Seeing him kind of take control of that game yesterday was a lot of fun. And then him getting an intentional walk so that they could get like, I just didn't think I would see that at least very much in 2026. So I mean, if this is the brand of baseball that we're going to watch, like one walk and one intentional walk and 3 strikeouts, like I'm here for that. I think this is going to be really fun baseball to watch all year.
If we had done preseason over under how many, or like predict how many times total the Cardinals are intentionally walked in 2026, I might have said 0. And
Yeah.
the fact that we got 1 in game 1, yeah, it's fun. He was locked in.
I mean, if like the look that Burley had on his face after he hit that homer,
Yeah.
I might be afraid of him too. That was there was some intensity for Burley biscuits right there. That was exciting.
It was fun though. I've lamented quite a lot about the lack of energy and fun and just willing to just scream on the base path on the base paths, like we just saw so much in WBC from every other country in the world. So I was like, yeah, get it, Burley. Do a cartwheel. I don't know if he could, but like enjoy it. Scream.
Do a cartwheel. End up on the 15-day IL.
I don't necessarily think like Arenado was stopping that kind of thing from happening, but and like obviously Wilson Contreras was helping that kind of thing happen. But I do wonder, like, young team, low expectations, like they should be out there screaming their faces off and having a good time.
Well, I was saying that a lot last year with everybody was like, well, you can't trade these guys, you can't trade, they're the leaders of the team and it'll impact the culture too much. And I was arguing, do they actually have a good culture? Because they haven't been winning. They haven't won for 3 years. I don't know that they actually have a good culture. So I'm not worried about trading these leaders because it seems like it's all pretty stifling there. So yeah, and it sure seemed like they were all having a lot of fun yesterday, which who knows if that actually matters, but you like to think it matters, and it certainly makes it a more enjoyable product to watch.
I did not watch yesterday's game and say where, Brendan Donovan would be straightening these guys out or anything like that.
Yeah. Excuse me. I agree. I think that I've often thought that if, you thought that the idea with Victor Scott and Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn with their personalities, that if they ever got all going and everything was, loose, that would be a lot of fun. Those are guys that would be fun. And they've only added to that with some of these other guys like Burleson and other things like that. So, I think it's going to be interesting to see how long that lasts. Are they still having a lot of fun if they lose 6 games in a row or something like that? Who knows? But I think this is the only thing that's probably going to get them through some of this season is being able to have the fun where they can find it.
I will say, like, if this starts to turn the corner in the time period that we think, and Newt is kind of the old guy and he's the one leading the culture around those guys that you were just talking about and some other young guys, like, that sounds like a really fun team to root for and watch, like guys that are having fun, playing hard, and great on TV. Like, I sign me up for that.
Yep. All right. Well, the tiebreaker wasn't needed, but we'll talk about it anyway because it was time of the game in minutes. Ben went with 143, which forced me to change mine to 147. Nate went 157.
Mm-hmm.
The game was 184.
Yeah. I knew I won this one. I mean, I couldn't remember where it was, but I'm like, I knew I picked the longest one. You guys kind of played yourself by both going below me, but this was a long game. But this is an example of long games being fun.
Absolutely.
32 hits or something like that. Like this was not the game that I expected.
No.
And they even mentioned it on the broadcast, but I think that's absolutely right. It's less about how long you're at the ballpark. It's how much fun you're having at the ballpark. Like you said, you can have a 2-hour game, but if it's a 1-0, 6 strikeouts, a whole lot of ground balls, probably not a whole lot of fun. But a game like yesterday, even if the Cardinals don't completely rally, even if they lose like 7-4 or something like that, it's still fun because there was, the game
Yeah.
moved and it had stolen bases, it had other things of that nature. It didn't drag, and I don't know that baseball always understands that when they're going for this pace of. I think
Yeah.
pace of play to them is the clock and
It's
not
just
the
the
style.
clock. Yeah. Hey, while we haven't mentioned it yet, but while we're talking about this game being fun, Nathan Church, we meet on Sundays, by the way, Nathan Church. But that play and just his whole, his at
Mhm.
bats, everything, he's looking great out there.
Yeah. Yeah. He has definitely overcome the handicap of being named Nathan.
Excuse me.
Um,
Excuse me.
I can say that my brother's named Nathan.
How
too.
dare you? Sounds like a great
So-
guy, by the way. Sounds like the shop dog I need to hang out with.
Oh no, you don't want to do that. But anyway, yeah, I've not always been high on Church because I've always felt like he's that kind of fourth outfielder
Yeah.
type of thing. But I mean, a lot of good things out of spring, and a great game yesterday, and given the fact that Newt is going to be out for 60 days, he gets a chance to really kind of put a stamp there on left field and make for some, hopefully, difficult conversations at the end of May. If
Yeah.
Victor Scott's going well and he's going well, and Jordan Walker is hopefully, at least finding something. When Newt comes back, we have a discussion to have that, the good problem to have.
Wouldn't it be nice to have that problem on the Cardinals? It feels like it's
I'd take
been a decade since we've had that problem. Oh, what are we going to do with all these good players? That would be fun. He robbed a dinger. I mean, what more do you want in day one?
He robbed a dinger. He got hits, 3 hits, down the lines. Look great. I mean, the guy's a legit defender. I know we have too many left-handed outfielders in the bigs and in the minor leagues, but he's separating himself right now. I think. I really like watching him play. I would love to see him stick around.
Yeah.
Well, and when you get the offseason or the spring comments about some of the team comparing him, or some people in the organization comparing his work ethic at least to Brendan Donovan's, that's a good role model, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's you're probably on the right track if people are seeing him in you. He's probably not going to be some sort of all-star or anything, but he could still be a very serviceable major leaguer, and that's really what the Cardinals need.
It's a very Cardinals move for somebody like Nathan Church to turn into like a 3-WAR player for a handful of years.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come out of nowhere, be really solid, maybe not great, but a contributor. That I would love that.
Let's get that Cardinal magic back.
Yeah.
S to your name.
All right. We'll just leave that there. Anything else? We didn't talk much about Matthew Liberatore, who had a good first 4 innings, kind of felt like he hit the wall a little bit. Like I said, Nathan Church robs that home run, which then he immediately gives up one the other way. I think that he battled out of that last little bit, and for 5 innings of 1-run ball, I don't think you take that every time.
Yeah, I thought the stuff looked good. It's early. I'm not gonna freak out about anything. Like Nate said earlier, this is a high contact team. That's kind of their game. They're a decent offense. I was pleased. And no comment about that.
Yeah.
Nate, did you see anything?
Well, 5 innings, 1 run. It's hard to ever be upset with that. And the Rays could be a good team. He didn't get crushed by Junior Caminero, which is a success.
Well, he didn't really pitch to Junior Caminero
That's a good
either,
point.
but that's okay.
One way to do it.
I probably would have done the same thing.
He didn't get crushed by him.
He didn't.
I'm slowly becoming pretty hyped on Matthew Liberatore. And while yesterday wasn't like a hell yeah, here we go start, I was like, if that's what a Liberatore who isn't doing exactly what he wants to be doing looks like, still a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, because to me, it didn't feel like he had his curveball going.
No.
And maybe, so if he ever gets that, he did that with one of his major weapons off the table. That's pretty good.
One other thing I wanted to call out from the game that I just thought was slightly interesting was Ramon Urias coming in as a defensive replacement for Nolan Gorman late in the game. And I think just kind of seeing how Ollie plans on using Gormy. using Urias, kind of like flexing, like that was really the only substitution we saw yesterday, other than obviously the bullpen. But thought that was interesting. It's interesting to me that Urias over Sajasi, but I think it probably makes sense. And is Gorman a great? Has he gotten better at third base defense? I guess we'll see. But obviously, Ali thought it was the right move to swap him out.
Yeah, I think we will see far more Sajasi starts than we see Sajasi like sub-ins late in the game. I think that's what Ramon is mostly here for. We've talked about it a bunch on our show, but his signing didn't make a ton of sense in the first place. But the one that does kind of make sense is basically exactly that use case. Though I will say, Gormy made a few okay plays over there too. So
it was
the Gormania, sure. It's spreading.
You really need to get that looked at.
I won't. I can't.
No,
I mustn't.
I think we haven't gotten a chance to see much of Urias in the spring, so I think it's going to be very interesting to see how, when are they going to start mixing him in? Are they going to start him a couple games just so he can kind of get his feet wet? I mean, probably not tomorrow, but Sunday's game has a chance to be one of those kind of games, right? Of just letting some people play that haven't necessarily gotten much chance to play. Right. So JC for me, and getting a chance to get these other guys before you get the Mets in, especially if they win on Saturday.
Daniel, you might know the answer to this. Are we sticking with Wetherholt at second base? If he's starting, he's at second base, or has there been any conversation about him flexing over to third base? Maybe I missed it. I'm curious.
I haven't heard much about that. Obviously he did play some third last year in the minors, but they've been pretty focused on him at second. I would be really surprised if they did anything else. I think they just want to set him there and let him go. And, with Gorman and Urias and Sajasi and even Fermin probably that had to, you've got people that can stand over there at third and not be miserable. So let the rookie play where he wants to be most comfortable. But, if somebody got, if there was a long-term thing, like if Gorman got hurt, I mean, maybe, but then again, then you got to, then maybe you have Sajasi play second, him play third. But I think they're probably more likely to do the
I mean, so far so good for me. Like there is just something I love about the idea of Mason Wynn and JJ Wetherholt being in the middle of the field for the foreseeable future, especially with Victor Scott and his defense. Like, sign me up. Looks super strong, super young, great up the middle. I'll take that all day.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, you get defense and you get young guys and you get them playing hard, and even if it is 70 wins or 71 now, then it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
that's how it works.
All right. That's right. Before we wrap it up, this is maybe the last time I get to use this question because the season has started, but at the end of every episode of this year, I have asked the guests, who is the guy that you are most going to be focused in on, whether it's because of on the field, off the field, the storyline, whatever the case may be. Which guy is your major focus for 2026? Ben, you want to go first?
Yeah. My real answer is Jose Fermin. He's I want to see.
What's your fake answer? Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, you're being honest with us. It's Jose.
I'm being honest with you right now. Yeah. No, but I think really, as far as like the Cardinals are concerned, I think one of the biggest question marks on the team is Ivan Herrera. Is he going to be healthy? Like, can we get the man 500 at bats? Do they all have to be a DH? Like, is he going to sit in at first base sometimes? Is he going to catch it all this year? I'm pretty confident that if he gets those 500 ABs, he's going to be a really great hitter, like an 850 OPS or higher. But he is a huge question mark. He's still young. I want to keep that knee uninflamed. I want no flames to be in that knee. I want him
if you're having a cookout, don't invite him.
Don't take him. Yeah. Keep hot dogs away from Ivan Herrera. I want to see.
Going camping. Don't
No, I went a different way. I have the old scene from the movie Clue with flames on the side of the face.
flames. I'm feeling the
Yeah.
flames. Yeah. Don't bring him don't cast him in that role in the movie Clue.
Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Yeah.
Just if it's flame,
I don't think he'd fit well in that dress either. So
give him a shot.
okay. Well, no, you just told me not to cast him.
I take it
Make
back.
up your mind.
Okay, fine. Don't cast him. Do put him in the dress.
Fair. Okay. Fine.
So you get
Anyway,
what
Dan,
I was trying. You get what I was trying to say, right? Like this, I want to see what Ivan Herrera's got, and just keep that knee healthy, and let the kid swing. I think he's going to have a great time. But I don't love the idea of a 25. Is he 25, 24, 25-year-old perma DH? So I would love to find him a position somewhere. I also don't want Alec Burleson playing in the outfield. So I want both of those things to happen somehow.
Yep. He'll turn 26 at some point in time this year.
Okay.
So, Nate, who's your guy?
Yeah. So we loved the plate approach this game and the barrage of hits. But that is not a long-term recipe for consistent success alone. You got to have some power in there too. You got to be able to hit some home runs. And so when you look at the team as it is right now, it still remains that Nolan Gorman is your best shot at having like a true power hitter on the team. Maybe eventually Jordan Walker, maybe Ivan can have a great season and hit 25 plus. But Gorman is the one that like right now this year could hit 35 if he put it all together. And that just so fundamentally changes this lineup. And we've got JJ who you could slot over to third. And I know we like Sajaci and all that, but like it's not, the Cardinals are not particularly deep right now in position player prospects that could play third and give you that sort of upside. So if he is actually like a fail, and this is certainly his last year, it's a pretty big hole. So I think that one of the best case outcomes of this development year would be Nolan Gorman, like doing what we've seen him do, but doing it consistently all year.
A good one, not the one I was expecting out of you, though. I was expecting some more Joshua Baez. Honestly. So.
Well, I'm a big fan, but I think it could be a very reasonable thing for him not to play on the big league team this year.
I think he's going to.
I think so too.
And it's going to be a ton of fun.
I truly do too, Ben. I'm just saying, like, we don't know what this team, how they're handling prospects like him now. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people and a lot of teams would really like to see the gains he made last year carry through for an extended time at the upper levels of the minors before calling him up. But there's a good chance
a lot of young guys in Major League Baseball right now that have very few minor league at bats. I'm not saying that's the right way to handle it, and I assume they'll do it in a data driven fashion. But my God, I can't wait to see him.
No, I'm on your side. I think they should, and I hope that he's up. I hope he crushes for a month and they call him up. I'm just saying, like, if you're betting on the outcomes this year, like, it'd be very reasonable for him to stay in the minors.
You're a freak for betting. It's all you do.
I've been talking about it all year. I'm doing all my favorite bets, and I hope everyone's betting. Just bet all the time.
You sound very knowledgeable about betting, also, which I like.
Big bets, little bets,
Mookie bets.
bets. There you go. I know. I mean, it's my favorite thing, and I'm so glad that it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
I will say on Baez too, though. I mean, we just had that discussion of if Church gets going and everybody, if the outfield starts working, there's a problem with Newt, finding a room. Now, again, that's assuming everybody gets going, which is a big assumption, but not that they can't find a place for Baez, but that might hinder things.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm thinking, you slot Herrera back into catcher, which is maybe a pipe dream. Newt's your DH. Then you have Baez, who I guess is covered in Jordan Walker's blood at that point, playing right field.
It's the only way to do it.
And you're going, baby. You're having a good
Yeah.
time.
Yep. He's actually on top of Walker's shoulders.
Wow, that works.
And we have
that works.
We have a 12-foot at bat.
Yeah, I mean, strike zone would be really rough.
They're Muppet Manning it. They're wearing one big Cardinals uniform.
Right. They'd probably walk every time because they'd never actually be able to throw the ball high enough to get it in the zone.
Well, I guess that depends on where. Wouldn't the zone be gigantic too?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I guess it really depends.
Yeah, I guess we have to. Is it really long pants or a really big shirt?
Yeah. So for more of this kind of stuff, you can listen to these guys.
It's gotta be a big shirt, right? Because you couldn't have the pants go all the way up that high, so it's got to be a big shirt.
Do y'all want to do Do you want to do the plug? What? Tell people where they can find you.
Yes, thank you, and sincerely, always a pleasure to be on the show, and it was a lot of fun having you on our show just 2 days ago. The three of us have talked for like 3 hours in the last 48 of them.
And it's been fun. Fun.
And if you'd like to hear that and check out our show, it's Talking About Birds. You can see it on all the podcast platforms, as well as YouTube, where we do video. We're on TikTok. We do clips of the episodes onto that. And yeah, you can just go to talkingaboutbirds.com, which will have links to all of the different things.
Call us at 848-48-BIRDS. You could call us or text us at 848-48-BIRDS. Maybe tell us that you hated us on this show or maybe liked it. Whatever it might be. We'll take it. 848-48-BIRDS.
If you need advice,
life advice, financial advice, betting advice,
we'll do it. So let us know. 848-48-BIRDS.
I think Ben just actually, had some involuntary reflex and had to throw that out there. It's just embedded in him by now.
I would love it if a listener of your show would text us something. It doesn't even matter what it is, just something.
Only person that's made it this far is Jake, and he would have texted you anyway. So
yeah, that guy won't leave me alone. So he doesn't need to.
Yeah, it's been fun. Just give them a follow. You can also support them on Patreon. It's at any rate, in any price, you can not only support this kind of nonsense, but also get in on the Bird Scored, as they call it, the Discord server that we're all talking about stuff on. And I'm in there, so don't let that stop you. I also wanted to make sure they did mention that they do record their shows and put them on YouTube. I did not have a camera when I was on with them, so you're safe. Go ahead, you can still watch it on YouTube. Guys, it has been a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing it sometime later in this year.
Yeah. So happy to be back. It's been a really long time, and couldn't be more happy to be here.
Yeah. And if you think this one is chaotic, just wait till next week, because next week our guest is new MLB.com writer Kyle Reese. So until next week.
Yeah. We got the link, Hambone.
Well, it changes. So, yeah.
I know C70's home address.
All right. Until next week, for Nate and Ben, I'm Daniel. Good night.
In the air center, Mullins on the run, still going back. JJ Wetherholt